Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Satguru Srimati Ji ki Jai. Like a minor earthquake in Bangalore. What should we talk about? Nice sleepy evening in Bangalore.
Silent sitting. Silent sitting.
Silent sitting, I just got to say.
Same,
Then you
same.
might feel he's gone into samadhi or something till you hear the snoring. Anyone new in satsang, they can ask some questions if they have. Okay, even if you're old in satsang, you can ask some questions. Don't ask an old question.
I can share an experience.
Yeah. Louder.
Yesterday, a friend, Shankar and Priya came to see
Yes,
us.
yes.
So Priya is pregnant. And
Now the world knows.
yeah. So when I met her, I just felt so amazing to see her, pregnant and having a baby. And suddenly something just shifted in me, and I just started, after a long time, I thought I started believing in something about how I wanted to be a mother, and how I went back into my relationship, and then we got into my memories, and I just started feeling strange because of what I was seeing. It just started feeling very. I don't know if it was real or unreal, but it was a ball of emotions which had felt like a desire that was never. I don't know, the hope if I would ever be a mother, or finding a right man. This was just like insane. I'm looking, and I just felt like shift in me. So at that moment, I didn't know what was actually real and what was not real. Of course, it's not there anymore, but it felt like it happened after a long time. And just one thought of the other, thought of the other. Went for a long time.
Domino effect.
Yeah, domino effect, and went on for a long time.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with those things. Nothing wrong with being a mother or being in a relationship. But what she noticed is that how one thought can act as a trigger for conditioning to seem to be back at some very previously strong levels. So, yes, this is, then it can play as if external events are there, emotions are there, thoughts are there, everything is bringing you to this personhood back again. Everything seems to be confirming our personal reality. That's why the sages' pointings are so beautiful. They say, what is it that remains unchanging? What is it that remains the constant witness to everything that changes? And because this medicine has been digested to some extent, then it doesn't become a prolonged feverishness about something. Momentarily, something can seem like it got picked up again, and then when it leaves, space. Now, in this space, it is not opposed to anything. It doesn't have to be this way or that way. Anything can continue to flow in the world. But that whole feverishness about identity, I must be this, I must have relationship, I must be mother. This I is the invention of this I, the truly non-existent one, which consciousness is believing itself to be. So you know, able to notice that there can still come some things which might seem so magnetic to our attention, for our belief, can seem like,
Yeah, and at that time the concept felt so real that I started believing it like as if only a woman can experience it. Like I wanted to own that. Like I was talking to my two guy friends, and then I'm like, you can't understand because it's just a woman thing.
It's a woman. So the woman identity also came with a strong.
It's true. I mean, like, come on, there is a difference.
Yes.
Only a woman can understand.
I know, but I realized the space I was saying it from was with an identification of what I was feeling, trying to say that it felt so real and it was beautiful. But then I just still felt a little sad. So, but I know what you're saying. It's true.
We can imagine though. We can imagine how it could be for you.
Tejas says, Father, no question here, just a sharing. Mom's health is not good since the last 2 days. Yes. We're sending her all our love and our blessings. Our best wishes to the healing of our body. Amaya says you have answered them all, yes. But can you speak of this persistent idea that awakening is a sudden experience and everything up till then is a preparation for it? Can you speak of this persistent idea that awakening is a sudden experience and everything up till then is in preparation for it? Meaning, actually, nothing can be done for that, laughing out loud, but there is this feeling that everyone who truly we call awake had this conversion, then they are doing their best to show us how simple that is already here now. But for them, it was sudden and total. So let's really look at what it means, this awakening. Now, there are two things. One is that which we call the awakening, or that which we call the awakening experience. Now, it is true that most of our teachers have told us that the awakening experience, as it happened, was a sudden shift in perspective. And they say that there was not this separate me that I could find. It is like that. It is true that many have, in fact, most have these kind of reports. And it is rare to have those who talk about this sober awakening, where it was empty of a radical shift that happened in a moment. And yet, it is also true that all those who have had these radical shifts are now saying that it is not about that experience itself per se. It is just in that moment nothing happened except that I saw what I always was. And you can also see that right here, right now. So it's one of the conundrums of this play of consciousness. It is a conundrum in this appearance of this world. It's like the Buddha himself did a lot of austerities and practices and things. And then he said, none of that is needed. Just the middle path, moderation. So this is the way the world seems to play. Actually, in our Sangha, we have, you can say that there are many who are coming to this recognition in a very sober way, not necessarily with a lot of fireworks, a lot of radical shifting. Just every day, more and more clearing happening. So it is like that. At one level, it is a conundrum where it seems like most have had this kind of radical shifting, and then they say, but it is not about just that experience. It is about the recognition of who we are and not picking up the false conditioning. So, if you were to look at it just in a simple way, what happens in that moment? What happens in that moment is that it is seen that there is no individual me here, and it is seen that I am not a phenomenal object. You cannot find a location for yourself, you cannot find a reference point for yourself. But that is true even now. And yet, this, when it seems sudden, it can seem like you just caught up, seemingly so attached to this container, like a body. I'm an object within this body. I'm not an object within this body at all. In fact, it doesn't even feel like the body is an object. Nothing is an object. It just feels like everything is just light and nothing. So that moment can come. But the main point is that now, as you're finding this about yourself, it is completely possible to drop that which is false. Because if you were to check now, this is what we do every day. As we check now, we find that I'm not an object, I'm not a limited thing. Most of us do find this. Only some have this very radical sort of awakening experience, as you might call it. Persistent idea that awakening is a sudden experience. Now, there are many also who can have this awakening experience and are not yet awake in the same using the same terminology, are yet not yet liberated from the conditions they have put on themselves. In fact, there are some who had strong awakening experiences and yet have gone to deeply spiritually egoistic conditions about themselves. So the awakening experience, although very often is the end of the false uh, conditioning about ourselves, many times it can also lead to a lot of new spiritual conditioning about ourselves. So everything up till then is a preparation for it. It can seem like that when we look at the lives of these sages. Many times it can seem like that, that everything up till that point was preparation for it. And then that big shift happened. In fact, that is the reason why I rarely share the stories from here. It's just that sometimes when my children ask me with such great sincerity, I cannot get myself to say, no, no, I won't share. But many times these things have become benchmarks for us. This is one thing I want to look at. Amaya also said, but for them it was sudden and total. So I would completely agree with the sudden part. But the total part is really not true. Even if you look at the lives of the greatest sages, you will find that many of them went into a period of silence where everything that was, still remaining was washed away, wiped clean. Not everything, 99.997%. Because everything also becomes a condition. So sudden, yes, but total, no. Mostly, in fact, it has been that you'll notice that even for those who had sudden awakening experience, have gone into prolonged periods of silence where the cleanup job continued in that period of silence. Then she says, actually, strangely enough, seems many who gave up the search, like you even gave up on gurus, yes, just before, then it happened. Maybe that's why Papaji used to say, no, it's not for you in this life. So when you hear like that, then this whole feverishness about freedom, this, wanting that ultimate bowl of milk, drops away, and that ease sometimes, yes, like that. This simple seeing, like we decided that book 10 will be called the simple seeing. So whatever empty of this feverishness, conditional feverishness, it can create more room for the simple seeing to take place. There is no one template that works. Like if it just worked like that, then I would just tell everyone, you, no, it's not. You is not. Like that. You see, it would just work like that if I found the magic pill. But it is not that. There is no template for this. That's why you just have to trust what is coming up intuitively. And even then, we don't know how life will play out in that particular case. Like, I got a report from someone the other day where they said that she used to attend satsang with somebody, a great sage, and he said to her, "No, you're too much, and the person right now you leave." And this happened maybe many years ago, many decades ago, and I just few weeks ago got a message from her saying that since that day she feels like she's been forsaken by God. So actually, the feeling might have been to empty that seeker identity of all Jews, but it can also pick up. We can also pick up new concepts because of it. So we can never predict how the even the pointing is taken in the play of consciousness. Consciousness plays with it in all. The same pointing can lead to so much freedom. Okay? But we also had somebody who probably watched this video. So someone told her that it's not for you, and that led to so much feeling of unworthiness and guilt and things like this. So sometimes the same medicine can just cure the infection. Sometimes it can lead to many side effects. That is the nature of consciousness. That is why the sages actually, their attempt is to meet you where you are. You meet where you are and then see what arises from there. But how the play turns out, even in spite of that, nobody can ever really predict. This is very good. She says, just want to surrender this. You ask what is the most persistent idea you hold. It is this one. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make a report. While I'm making a report, I would like to say,
A little loudly.
I would like to make a report. But before I make the report, the outset I want to say that this has no relevance to my daily.
Yeah. If you come on that,
There's
careful, careful. This way, so
yeah. There's a report 2 days ago. I had a very deep experience, although I have had many experiences with you. But this was a little stronger, and it has not settled me in. I wouldn't say that I have my psychological mind has not washed away totally. Still struggle with it, but the sharing was by Maya. It was a beautiful video by Rupert Spira, and it was called "The Pinnacle of Human." Pinnacle of non-dualism, and it was by a 13th century Sufi saint, I think, who is a contemporary of Rumi. His name is Ibn something
yeah,
Bayani.
this is the book that
Bayani, yeah.
that
He was
Omkar
reading
sent
from
to
that.
us. Yes.
Omkar said that to you?
Yes. Is
Oh
there
my
in the library?
God.
If you go to the library.
Oh my God, I want to read that. And according to Rupert Spira, this is one of the third best non-dual literature according to him. According to him. And so it blasted me away, and I came to position. I mean, there's no position as such, as you say. And there's nothing whatsoever. There's no God. There's no universe. There's nothing whatsoever. Nothing to report. And yet he would exist. Yeah. In that, I was feeling like, there was me, and it took me like, I just wanted to disappear, like dive into wherever it is, deep in the middle of nowhere, just be nowhere. And then yet I knew that there is no appearance, and there is no and there is no disappearance. There is no birth, and there is no death. It just is. It is just is. But I'm not able to settle in that. I mean, it's not. Nothing is so dramatic. Everyday living itself is like it's sahaja. If you are not going away from awareness, and if you're already aware that you're aware, there's no trouble actually. And that's the simplest thing. I know that also. But still, something tries to grab you.
This is the thing. So
Conditioning tries to grab you. Yeah, it grabs me a lot. And I struggle with it. And you have to help me with that. Because it's very strong sometimes. Sometimes it's very, very strong. Still struggle with it. Conditioning.
So in Tiru one time, Gopala said to me, just, I want you to give it to me. Just give it to me. I'm done with all of this. Just give it
Millions
to
of
me.
years of
Millions
struggle.
of years of strife and struggle. Just, I want it. Just give it. And something happened and he got it. What he wanted given. No, he got it. He said, yeah, that's it. Then a few days later, no, the same thing that the conditioning is still strong, this tendency is still strong, something is still strong. So I had it, I lost it. Then we're not making fun of you, we're just sharing
I know,
how the
but
mind can play. Then something similar happened in Vibhuti. From what I remember, in Vibhuti also in the middle, he was like empty of everything, so clear. No?
The vastness.
The vastness was clear.
Just the vastness.
The vastness. When we had the retreat next to Pune in a place called Chinmaya Vibhuti.
The second retreat I
second
asked you.
retreat.
Second retreat, I believe that you could give it to me. But I now don't believe it because I'm already that.
Yeah.
There's no getting and no giving and nothing. I'm mature enough to realize all that. And then I said, I want to sing the song. It is done.
Yes.
It is. No, it is
Yeah.
laughable, no?
Yeah.
This journey sometimes very laughable, no? Joke it is really.
So then, so the story continues. So then this year, he went to Rishikesh, and Rishikesh Satsang also, he had beautiful experience of the vastness. Was it the vastness?
No, it was just that. It was just plain saying, that's it. And so many people acknowledge that. Rajiv ji acknowledged that, and Jay, what is that guy? Jay, the matter guy, black guy.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
What's his name? I forget. They
So many
came and hugged
acknowledge
me,
that
and
also.
Came and hugged me, and then I believe that it's. I mean, I'm done. And he said, I mirror him, and it was like so much ecstasy, hugging Bolanath and Bolanath. We are all into that ecstasy levels. All that, but it is meaningless. But I understand that you can take starts like that.
With hearing the words of this mystic saint who is a contemporary of me that Rupert was sharing from. The beautiful book that Omkar also sent for us.
Could you do that book?
So, wait, before we get to that, when you saw that, all of this appearance, no appearance, all of this is nothing. Yeah. Now, how does that report change?
I mean, like all these are passing phases. These are chocolatey moments.
Okay, chocolatey moments have come and gone. So, suppose we leave all the moments of chocolate and all other flavors aside, then what is it that you find yourself to be?
That which sees never. That which sees it, that witnessing it's pure witnessing. There's nothing else actually. I know that. Pure witnessing.
Now,
Everything else is
the-
drama. Everything else is drama.
very good. So, when we say that the conditioning gets me and you want my help with that,
Yeah.
is there a real me I can help with that?
Yeah, that is one. I don't know how to deal with that. That is something.
What are you presenting yourself as right now? The one who doesn't know how to deal with that is which one?
Yeah, I know. It's silly actually.
Is it? So this is what I was saying, that sometimes awakening experience is very helpful and can seem like such a radical shift happened. And sometimes experiences can lead to, okay, I had it, now I lost it, now I'm back to my conditioning. Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
So if there is anything ever, what is important is, what is it now? What is the truth about you from your inside right now?
Right, I'm very comfortable.
Now, every right now, there is nothing fundamentally about this right now and any other right now. In fact, there is only this right now.
You pick up these sensations and and it still bothers you. It's about. But if
The only, I was saying yesterday, the only source of confusion is misidentification. If you don't pick up the false I, what report can you make which is confused? If your mind says, but I do. You know, it is just, it happens, I do. You see? So, but this is the only moment which is relevant. If you cannot pick it up now, you never have to pick it up. The mind will project from the past.
these past a couple of days I've been going through yucky, like a depression kind of thing. So we came in and walked in us. I was like, free as a lark. I don't know why I'm going through that. Sometimes I
Remember
when
once
you
we
look
did
at
this
me-
exercise,
When you look at
Yeah.
me, simply I want to cry and bawl, and I don't know why. I don't know why all these things.
nothing wrong with that. So we played this game once, which was very nice. For some time, we don't say I, we say God. So for the last few days, what has happened?
But these things, like you can witness and not get bothered by that.
It depends on what you mean by depression. If depression
Like,
already means that belief is there,
No, the energies are not.
just purely energetic is
Yeah,
what you're
it's
talking.
purely energetic. Yes, it's not because I'm bathed in. Mostly, I'm with Muji or you're listening to catching up with something I missed. So it's mostly blissful and beautiful moments. My life is very beautiful, and although little problems, it's okay, manageable. But couple of days I've been having kind of this.
So now say, make this report, don't say I, say God.
So God. But these energies,
Past couple of days, what happened?
these energies, they do bother you, right? But these energies, when they come, how do you handle it?
I have to be honest and say that it's very rare for them to come. But when they do come, there's complete space for them.
like the clouds and then the space and the moon.
It just doesn't feel like something can overwhelm. It is possible for some feeling to come momentarily, some idea to come momentarily that, oh, I don't want this or something. But it's meaningless. And the more you see things for as they are, like when that energy is coming, like many times I've given these examples in satsang because of that, isn't it? If you can bring some attention to the space in which that energy is coming, then you will see that just like a tiny dot on this wall, that energy, in the unbounded space of existence, a small fluctuation is happening, and we feel like we are being shaken up. But that which is past is not relevant.
Yeah, it's not relevant anymore.
Is it?
And they need to put some, Lionel Richie and get me out of it or something, some beautiful song, something like that. Something to change the, the energies which are really pinning you down, pinning me down. Very heavy and it's little.
Be taken care of naturally.
Yeah.
Because many times that which you're feeling is clearing up could also be brushing it back in.
Yeah.
So let it be, something has to be vomited out, let it be vomited out fully, rather than trying to fix it. Guruji says that nobody wants to vomit, but they do feel good after it is over.
Yes.
I want to tell you that actually there is, from all the satsang that you've been to, I can tell you that everything that needs to be heard, you've heard. There is nothing missing. You don't even need to supplement it with any sort of healing or any sort of thing. Because there can be a thing that I have to take a position opposite of this particular energy and then clean it up or something like that. What if you were to welcome everything as your child? This all is the creation of consciousness itself.
Yeah.
Only one naughty child you have to be careful about believing, which is the mind.
So yeah, some years ago also this my deep attachment to my children, and I saw it's God's life and God's running their life. I should not interfere and even bother about what's happening. Just maybe support them if they need support, if they ask for support or whatever.
We cannot. The thing is, in this world, we might decide many things, but there is no such thing as a true position. You see, it's neither this nor that. You just have to let the moment take care of itself. Or as Guruji says, existence take care of existence. Sometimes the supportive parent appears, sometimes the indifferent parent appears, depending on how it is played out.
I can't be indifferent.
No, indifferent in the sense not catering to every desire. Every time a child asks for chocolate, there are some parents who will want to give all the time, and some parents will say, no, not good for you, nothing at all. When you're free from these positions, then parenting can just happen. So now, what is it that you find yourself to be?
It's okay now. It's okay. Just help me with my career.
With you?
Yeah. Some things I can't handle. Please help me.
It's a deal. We've always had that deal.
Yeah.
There's enough chat there that I have to put on my glasses. Let's see what's happening. My first guru Anil says, my first guru in 2006 gave up on me frustrated and asked me to go away. She said that I will not get it in this lifetime. I am like a brick wall who does not let guru light pierce within. She was surprised why Kundalini chose to awaken in me, and within 10 years everything changed. Nancy says, pretty much it's going to happen when consciousness plays out like that. And all the insights are also built into the play, right? Yes, yes, yes. Aparna says it's going to happen when it's going to happen. Anil says yes, all insights are in the play. There's some more chat. Kabir says he wants to come up in just a little bit. You can come, my dear. Amaya says, Father, whenever you say right now, who are you right now? What is here right now? It slays everything, including the persistent idea I spoke of before. Yes. Very good. Shanti says, thank you, thank you, thank you, Father, for all these beautiful years. All has been said that I need to hear. Now it is just music that I love to listen to over and over. So much love, beloved. It is only really true this moment. And all the years are now. So amazing. Okay. Kabir wants to come, he can come.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, namaste, my dear.
How are you,
How's
Father?
our little one?
She's fine.
Great.
She's growing very fast.
This is what happens once you have children, then everybody asks about them before they ask about you.
Right, right, right. And you feel good about it, actually.
Is what, a couple of months now?
Yeah, she is about 2 months. So, Father, in all spontaneity, life is happening, and it feels like, there is no such demand, no such interest, no such kind of special inclination towards anything, be it spirituality, be it, why I'm getting it, not getting it. Just like in spontaneity, satsang happens, everything is just, appears and everything. But towards materialism, there seems to be, a bit of a tension that goes away and, planning about buying a new house, this and that. But from far away, there is this knowing that, this all is happening, appearing, right? And so there is a witnessing of this actually, even though it is very fast, like these thoughts and everything, they move very fast. But then you can see that somebody is talking to something which is not there. All of a sudden this commentary and everything, it just keeps on running, 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 and the moment you take a pause and look at it, all of that vanishes, and there is just this smile. So just wanted to probably put this at your feet because it's been a while I've talked to you. Just felt like sharing this with you.
Our taste is of spontaneity most of the time and little bit of spice sometimes. Completely. No. See, because spontaneity actually is the opposite of suffering. Suffering means that I must have a projection about how things should be. And if you have a projection about how things should be, then that is not spontaneity.
But
So, as long as you say that most of life seems to be going on, and it could be work, family, now you have new baby also. So all these things are happening, and I'm sure a lot of attention and time goes on all of this. But you see that all of it is in its own spontaneous way, moment to moment. And but sometimes some planning seems to happen, some idea about which house to buy, these kind of things can come. But they don't seem to shake some foundation which is so strongly built, then I see no trouble with any of this.
Further, there seems to be certain detachment from all the activity that is happening around. Like it feels like these are just very tiny dots, like you were saying. Everything, like that happens, good or bad. Like this Las Vegas thing, massacre happen, and then there would be something that would be happening. It feels like it's just a play, and there is not that intense interest in judging it or being. It's just like, okay, fine, it's happening, and so sometimes chat would happen that, hey, it's selfishness. It is me, that it's not with you, so you're not concerned. But it feels like even if it is with this body or with very close one, it's just like, hey, it is. I'm something which is there, which I know. This body and all these relations are getting involved and having the interest in it. But you are there always. I mean, so this kind of keeps coming back, with the flow of life. Feel like just being at your feet, you know.
I want to be a bit naughty and say that no, I do see some trouble. So you and Bonnie and the child has to come and visit me fast.
Yeah. No, Father, I'm just waiting. I was about to ask you, is that retreat finalized? That's going to happen in December or January?
Well, it looks like most likely January 7th to 13th is what the dates we are looking at now in Tiruvannamalai. So if that works best for you, that is good. Otherwise, we don't have to wait so long.
I'll be there soon, Father. Very soon. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Madhu. Thank you. Jerome says, I like your vibration, Kabir. What happened to you? Like a child. You have an explosion of spontaneous giggling.
Can I share something
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
just noticed?
Sure.
Um, oh, it's quick. When Amaya just said about,
The sage's report.
yeah, that like when the enlightenment will happen and it will be whatever. And then a couple of people had commented like it will happen when it's going to happen. I just like kind of noticed that this used to feel like really important. This question, there was something like a lot of interest in this question, and it felt very real. And like, yeah, I just
don't care about this question anymore, and just feels like it doesn't apply. Yeah, that's really nice.
Satsang is like, you remember Devi, her partner, at one point he had made a video about Satsang. So Devi lives in America and Oregon. So Alan, who's a partner, he made this video that she now, Stacy is her American name. So Stacy now has a Indian guru and he was trying to have this whole Indian accent. It was very, very funny. They get together on Hangout every day. And then this Indian man, he walks in and he sits down. And then what does he do? He just looks at you and he smiles. Then after 5 minutes, what are they doing? They're just looking at each other and smiling. So today's satsang is a bit like that. What is there to say? See, we talked about fireworks. There's some fireworks happening. Everything is available here. The Advaita police is here. The sirens keep coming. The fireworks.
Does the mental commentary ever stop?
The mental commentary loses more and more power.
Yeah.
But it's, in my experience, I have to say that yes, the mind continues to come with its advice. But Papaji also used to say very beautifully. In my experience, I have to say that that which used to be a very, very strong tormentor then becomes just like a
Yeah.
pesky mosquito, and then it loses even that power to be pesky. So So mostly I look at it more as a comedian, as a as a as a way to get laughter without having to invest anything. You just listen to what it is saying, and it's just so ludicrous most of the time. And you just have to laugh. You have to laugh at what it is presenting itself to be and what it's posing or presuming you to be. So I say this sometimes half jokingly that the difference between the sage and the lay person, the regular person, is that the sage is found that this voice in the head is a stand-up comedian, whereas everyone else seems to be taking it seriously. Definitely taking it seriously. Father, where should one abide in? This emptiness or awareness of emptiness? Nowhere. Nowhere. Because if there is one that is abiding in something else, then that one is still a limited projection that we are believing about ourselves. Don't abide anywhere. Somebody's getting married in a very big way, or a festival. Is there a festival today?
There's a festival today.
There's a festival.
Valmiki something.
Oh yeah, Valmiki Jayanti. Valmiki was the author of one of the versions of the beautiful Indian mythological story called the Ramayana. Again, saying that version was of the mythological story was not meant as any sort of disrespect to the Ram. Has had a beautiful place of reverence even in this life. It's a beautiful, beautiful depiction of the play of spirituality that happens, the play of life that happens in all our lives. Same with the Mahabharata, the Ramayana. Prakash says two friends, one went to temple and other one went to the bar. Okay, this sounds like one of those jokes, the bar joke. Two friends, one went to the temple and other one went to the bar. The person who went to temple thought about how his friend will be enjoying in the bar. The person who went to the bar thought about his friend who went to the temple and got moksha. So sitting in the office, listening to your words is very spontaneous and beautiful.
Last night we saw such a funny video of Mujiji
Yeah.
talking about the centipede story. Have you seen that?
I might have, I forget to in my.
So there's an insect rave about the insect rave
No, I
in
haven't
the
seen
forest.
this.
It's very so funny. It was hilarious. It was the best thing I saw last night.
After the broadcast is over,
It was
Yeah.
released yesterday. It's about arrogance that you build, like comes with.
Karima was listening to something yesterday night, but I'm not sure whether it is the same one.
It's right? It's like, and he was so animated about it.
Yeah, it's the best,
So
best storyteller.
dancing.
Now there she's put it also. Maya has put it.
She's a magician.
Actually, satsangs become like this usually when just before I'm about to take a long break. So I don't know whether a break is coming or what's happening.
They become so.
Yeah.
They become like.
They become just like this. Who's there to even speak now? Everything has been spoken already. And I see you and I feel very happy, all of you. Sometimes I feel like there's nothing left to share with all of you. You're just so shiny.
Maybe we can sing today.
Yes, yes. Sing something before he goes. Who wants to sing? Nancy's asking, are you taking a break? Well, there was no plan like that, but I'm just feeling like this right now. You know, what happens here also is that if someone comes now with like a real strong question or something, these days like this, it can just feel like it's so clear for all of you. Like Guruji at one point used to say that, you know, I keep sharing every day. And one day I feel like all of you are just going to turn around and tell me, gotcha! you think we didn't know this already? We just like you making the effort every day and speaking for 2 hours. Some days I feel so happy about this Sangha that I feel you just humoring me or playing with me, asking me questions. Maya saying yes. That's why I asked the question. So,
Tired of making things up.
now you're running out of just things to.
Concepts.
Actually, I have to be honest and say that I've really enjoyed the satsang in the last few days, and this pointing about just being empty of all positions. I feel the articulation that has happened from here in the last few days has been very direct about it and very clear about it. Taking no prisoners in terms of, you know, allowing some concepts to creep in. Very few have been allowed to creep in. I feel like just a little bit of this, if it is heard with some openness, all the struggle of the spiritual journey and all the effort of trying to be something, get somewhere, all can be very simply dropped in this. So I really enjoyed the sharing that has arisen from this mouth. And also the resonance that I find in all of you. I find great joy in this.
such a joy to hear you speak, even if it's just confirming. It's just
Oh. Anna says, "Dear Anantaji, I do have questions, just not coming in a concrete form yet." Okay, my dear, don't worry. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Wait, I'm here.
Then Nancy said earlier something. Jyotima, okay, there's lots of chat. Jyotima said, "We recognize that if we keep quiet, either the questions go away or they get answered." Nancy says, "Again, it all stems from not abiding in awareness." Muji says, Guruji says, "Don't complain about the monkey on your back when you have a banana in your pocket." Very good one. Anil says, "There was a burden that I have to pocket something from Satsang. It was like the passing an exam with good marks." Yes.
Father, are you going away? Sorry.
Oh my dear, I'm here. There's no
Are you
intention.
stopping Satya for a while?
No, there's no intention like that. I'm just feeling the flavor of it today, and I'm feeling that it is usually after a long season when I take a break, the last few satsangs before we announce the last satsang usually has a lot of like power and then full recap of everything and these things. But I'm just feeling like so very relaxed, not too much domestic questions coming, not too much play of ego happening, just very, very light, some slight clarifications. I enjoy it actually very much. So maybe this time we just keep it like this as it is. So as I answer this question, I feel like no, I'm not taking a break. I feel there's enough energy here to, especially satsang like this, very loud.
No, only because I miss most of them because it's so early for me.
Yeah.
Then I feel bad that I missed them. Actually, I don't, but so
I'm here, my dear.
yeah, you better be. I'm fighting with people right now. You can't.
Shanti says it's more than words that you share. Yes. Maybe some silent sittings for a while. Yes. Shivani says, "Jiggy diggy dig." Rings a bell? So, jiggy diggy dig. Since mentioning Guruji's insect rave, that is all I can hear. I have to see this one.
It's beautiful.
I'm sure my children will also enjoy it. Yes. Some suggestions to broadcast or put on screen. I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to. But all of you have the link, isn't it?
Well, it's a public video.
Should be. It's okay.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, there's a question. Okay, guys, I'm not going anywhere, so don't make up questions already. Irad, okay, Irad is new. He's not asked a question before, so he's not making this up. Does a free being need to inquire from time to time, or is there a threshold after which it is reached? No more inquiring is required. Yes. Where is Irad? I did see him a while ago. Ah, there. Okay. Video is not there, but I see him there. So, what happens is that it becomes very natural. The inquiry is not something that you're doing like, who am I? Who am I? It's not that I'm not this, I'm not this. It just becomes a part of existence in a way where jokingly sometimes I say it goes from who am I to just who to just what just like a syllable to just you just is it you just like that. So actually what happens is here is that I find that every time a question is asked of me, I'm looking, it becomes an inquiry for me where I'm contemplating so if it's about attention or belief, I'm looking at it live, not operating from the concepts of what has been discovered even in the past. So once actually when I took a break, I told everyone what has happened is that you give me this contemplations to do and I'm contemplating every day, but you are not contemplating along with me. So I'm just not going to answer. So what happens is inquiry becomes like that, where when we are looking at something, when we are looking at the play of attention, when we are looking at belief, when we are looking at awareness, that which is aware of existence, it is not some discovery that happened 10 years ago. You see, not some experience that happened 10 years ago and the words are coming from there. It is coming from live broadcast. It is just seen here and then it is spoken from there. So in that way, I can say that the inquiry continues and also the insights continue. So every time I look, there could be a fresh seeing, like this, or a fresh way of articulating it arises. So if you look at the expression, how it was 4 years ago when Satsang started here, and the expression how it is here now, there seems to be so much more articulation that is here, so much more insight that has happened here. So yes, inquiry does continue. In fact, it becomes a very natural part of our existence, but not with that formality of having to ask in a particular way, who am I, or do it like a practice or something. I hope that answers. Hmm. Jyotima says, Father, please may I share an experience when I gave Sujata your wishes yesterday. Yes, my dear, come. I also saw her for here also.
So, just as you asked, okay, will you tell her? And then the satsang ended. And I picked up the phone and she's in Goa with her family. And I told her, and Father, she was like, it's so beautiful. But in my saying it to her, suddenly I just experienced like this whole expanse of universe where it was like this presence of Guruji was so strong. It was like Guruji was right there, and then it was you. I mean, it was like no difference, but it was just very beautiful, Father. I mean, I'm feeling blessed for having just giving your message to her. And thank you so much, Father.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
He says all the heaviness just disappeared as the satsang progressed. Very good. Very good. So welcome, my dear. Belated happy birthday to you. Good. I have to log in from Goa into Satsang is also quite something. So well done.
I didn't realize she was on satsang just now. I didn't see her. Anyway,
I've seen her. She's been here most of the time actually. Yeah, look at Shivani. That goofy smile is back. Is he? That's good. Mr. Grumpy Face is gone. I don't invite him back. He's gone. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Ji ki Jai.
Jai. Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.